Let's talk about mental health. Very difficult question. But the first time I began to understand what mental health was all about was the time I lost my daughter. I did not have any deep understanding of mental health issues until I lost my daughter. A friend of mine, a psychiatrist, was concerned because knowing how close I was to my late daughter, she believed that I was on the verge of going into depression because everyone knew how close I was to my daughter. So she flew all the way from the United States with books because she knows I love to read a lot, and talked to me about the various forms of mental illness and her view that because of the closeness I enjoyed with my daughter, her death may just tip me into clinical depression. I read the books. They were very enlightening. And it was the first time that I understood there is a difference between mental illness and being insane. But the beauty of what I learned reading those books and going through what I went through was that mental health is very similar to physical health. Mental health challenges can be treated with medication and changes in lifestyle and advances in psychiatric medicine, particularly when it is identified at its formative stages. So it gave me a deeper understanding of what mental health issues are all about and how mental health challenges do not necessarily translate into madness, insanity, or violence. It was a very enlightening experience for me. One of the most touching books I've read have to do with mental health, written by a professor of psychiatry at Johns Hopkins, An Unquiet Mind. And I found it to be very enlightening about what mental health is all about and what to do about it. Well, assuming that I understand what it is, because often people don't even know that they have mental health challenges. It requires expert evaluation to even know that a person has clinical depression. But I think that once one realizes that a person has mental health issues, the best thing to do is to refer that person immediately to a psychiatrist for evaluation and encourage him or her to take a course of treatment. The thing to know is that mental health issues can be treated with medication. It is not a matter for spiritualists or taking people to a church or mosque for spirits to be exorcised. It is not it. Most mental health challenges can be treated with medication these days. Since we are made of different physical and psychological makeups, it is inevitable that some will be more vulnerable to mental health challenges than others. We are human, we are not perfect, and we are all different in our own ways. So it depends, the same situation can lead to different results depending on the person that has to go through that situation. And that's how God made us, that's how we are. You see that every day. You see people that have been thrown out of their homes, walking the streets because they have extreme and very clear mental health challenges. Some are chained and confined because they have mental health challenges, when the appropriate thing to do really is to understand the nature of the challenge and treat it using medication. Because as I said, today there is virtually no aspect of mental health challenges that cannot be treated with medication and therapy. I think we as governments must provide the enabling framework to recognize that mental illness is not necessarily madness. So there is need for a lot of advocacy and enlightenment. Secondly, we need to have facilities that will treat people that are challenged with mental health issues. Third, we need to train more psychiatrists, more mental health nurses, and experts in that area. And finally, we must consider that with 7 to 10 million Nigerians suffering from just one kind of mental health challenge, we have an emergency. There is a national emergency, and we are losing the productivity of many good people, many creative people, because they have mental health challenges that have not been addressed. Everything I've read about depression, for instance, associates depression and other mental health problems with very brilliant people. Most brilliant people have one kind of mental health challenge or another. And it is important to treat it, to harness that brilliance of theirs for the benefit of society. I think we need to declare an emergency in the treatment of mental health issues in Nigeria. Mind over matter.